Alright, the Reds, it's talking Reds on Thursday from Liverpool. I'm distracted by a massive tanker going down the Mersey. I'm a bit of a ship nonce.
I enjoy the big boats going down the Mersey. It's quite fun. I've never seen that one.
It's good, isn't it? It's a big fella. I know it doesn't work because you can't actually see it, but, you know, talking Reds and that, it's the summer. There's not loads of footy, so we might talk about tankers and stuff. Anyway, Gareth Roberts, Craig Hannan, band back together, etc. We've done that just before. Top of the agenda today for May the 23rd, talking Reds, is that, and I've seen this on my way down on the bus, Shaqiri could leave. I'm not into this.
No.
Not into this chat at all. I love the power cube. I was made up when we bought him. I love that there was a little bit of fume around them being signed because I liked them, and so that was good. So it meant I could argue with people, and that's good. And I think he's been sound for us. I know he didn't get any game time pretty much towards the end of the season, but he still made a valid contribution for me, and not least 2 goals against Man United. You know, go into folklore for that kind of stuff.
Assist in a Champions League semi-final as well.
You know what I mean? I liked him, and like I think, you know, obviously the media did what the media does when a lad doesn't get game time and says, like, you know, he's fell out with the manager or this, that and the other. But you've seen them like hugging and big smiles and all that sort of stuff. Trent taking the piss out of him yesterday on his Instagram, where they're all lined up after they played the 6-a-side game and their team had obviously won. And he's like, smile, bro, because Shaqiri wasn't smiling.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it was very Shaqiri, wasn't it?
Maybe that's because he's being told he's going, who knows. But yeah, this is in the Mirror today, and the reason being that he could leave, and it is could leave because, you know, it's that time of year, is to raise funds for Villarreal winger Samuel Chukwueze.
Right, I'm a massive fan of Josh knowing who was on Talking Reds, i.e. me and you, and telling us exactly how to pronounce it, which is, I think we need more of that, to be honest. The Pochettino thing, who was the other, Monkey? Munchie.
Monkey, still an absolute classic.
One of the great Talking Reds. Yeah, we need more of this pronunciation. Yeah. I'm a bit glad to hear this. I saw Neil Jones say this as well, that he could be sold to raise funds. I was trying to think of why that is, because you know, like you say, he made a big contribution in the first half of the season. Every time he was in, you know, he managed to do something. Whether it was a goal, whether it was to influence the game. And when he was out, we always felt as if we had him on the bench, we'd love to see him. That he excited us as fans to come on. You know, I wonder whether it's just that he's burning Klopp's head out in terms of the way that Klopp has his team, where every single person in that team has to do. It's regimented. It might not look very regimented, but it is regimented. And I wonder whether that he's just burning his head out, because it's not a lack of work rate either. And it doesn't seem to be you know, problems with his mentality or with you know, that he doesn't seem like he's a bit of a dickhead. Do you know like we thought he might be.
And like, you know, you kind of feel like he was quite happy to moan when he was at Stoke, when the manager started having a go at him and stuff like that. He was in the press having a go back. But there's not been a peep out of him this time. Not been a peep out of anyone, to be honest, at Liverpool this season, which has been fantastic. I do wonder whether it's what you're saying, just that he's a bit too individualistic for him, because there's a great piece well worth your time reading in the New York Times, where it really goes into great detail about the people behind the scenes at Liverpool who focus on stats and data and analysis. And there were some names there, you know, in terms of people who were working there that I'd never heard of before. It's a really in-depth piece, but it's really interesting. And you know, I've never been one to sort of fully embrace the stats side of football. I still just like going, cheering on my side, watching the football and seeing what I see with my eyes, and then the rest, yes, there is obviously a place for it, but I'm just a fan. But this was honestly a dead interesting piece. And in that, it was almost saying like that, and analysing, and they are analysing everything that Liverpool do to the nth degree, and the value of everything, every ball, every shot, where they are on the pitch and all that. So you wonder, with all that data at their hands, plus what he's doing in training, plus what Klopp's seeing in matches, he just thinks he's too much of a loose cannon. Maybe he doesn't follow instructions to the letter enough for Klopp's liking. And then there is just simply the fact that he didn't get much game time towards the end of the season. He's at that stage of his career where he probably needs to play regularly. He's also he's always felt to me anyway that he wants to be the sort of big fish, and he's definitely not the big fish at Liverpool, you know what I mean? So maybe he needs a smaller pond, then he'll be on every free kick, he'll be picked every week, you know, that kind of thing, and he's not really getting that.
I like having him as a bit of a wild card though in the squad. I would I'd be gutted to see him go, because I feel like there's more still to come from him. A big pre-season, and you wouldn't put it past him, forcing his way into the side again. It's just that, it's obviously Klopp sees him and has to work with him every day in training. And yeah, we've got loads of Shaqiri t-shirts in the Anfield Wrap shop, so if you want to help us out before he leaves, the AnfieldWrap.com/shop.
Nice
From
sell.
a cynical business point of view, just before he leaves, get your Shaqiri t-shirt.
I mean, if he is going as well, who knows, maybe in the final he can have a bit of a Smeeta moment where he knows he's leaving but he ends up on the pitch and he scores a goal, scores a penalty, and is pictured later smoking a big cigar with the European Cup. That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
That'd be lovely, yeah. But that's the thing, though. If you think back to last year in Kiev, when Salah's going off and it's Lallana comes on, and after that it's Emre Can, who's half fit, coming on, and you look at our bench this time. I know they're allowed to name 12 players, but you look at the bench. Even someone like Keita might force his way in there. We've heard some decent news around his injury today. You got Oxlade-Chamberlain. You got someone like Shaqiri who can come on and just. He's a moments footballer, isn't he? And he can create a moment. So if he's needed in this European Cup final, he just wouldn't put it past him. So no, I'd be glad to see him leave if he does.
Listen, everyone at the Anfield Wrap has been working hard, really hard, for months now on the Anfield Wrap app. Big thanks also to Pixel Beard in Liverpool, because they're the firm that we used to make this app. Everyone's really pleased with the results. There's still little tweaks taking place all the time to make it better and better, but feedback has been fantastic. If you don't know about the Anfield Wrap app, here's a little video telling you all about it. So that is the Anfield Wrap app. Please do give it a rating and a review and tell your mates about it and post on forums about it and say it's nice on Twitter and things like that and get everyone onto it. But also, Mr. Craig Hannan has a little bit more about the app.
Yeah, so if you're already a subscriber, when you download the app, you'll just be prompted to sign in. You sign in using your usual details. If you've got any problems around your details, can't remember your password, because that's been the main problem so far, just email help@theanfieldwrap.com and Joe will be able to help you out with that. And if you haven't already, maybe you watch our videos just on YouTube, you'll be able to watch all of them on the app. You'll be able to listen to all of our audio as well. If you sign up and you create an account for free, you'll get some tokens as well. So if you just do watch all of our free videos, you'll be able to use the tokens to listen to some of our paywall content. And what a time to be able to do that, because we've got some big names in this week, which I'm sure Gareth will mention at the end of the show. So yeah, download the app. It's in the Play Store, it's in the App Store, and it's a builder.
So it is transfer season. We are obviously 9 days away from a European Cup final, and that's sort of at the forefront of everyone's minds. But nevertheless, you kind of feel like dealings and conversations and phone calls will be happening behind the scenes. How much at Liverpool, we don't know. That's the way it should be, really. But nevertheless, the speculation goes on, and we've been linked today as well with Real Madrid, Gareth Bale. Now, personally, I can't see this one, but let's go with it. It's been reported to be one of Man United's top targets, but Spanish journalist Eduardo Inda reckons he's more likely to join Liverpool or Spurs. There is, of course, the point that he's 29, which seems a little bit old to pay a lot of money for, and sort of out of the scope of Liverpool's normal way of transfer dealing, really. He'd also obviously cost a fair whack in terms of price and his wages. And it goes back again to this sort of this piece I'm on about in the New York Times, which you really should read, because that goes into the transfer policy as well. How they highlight targets, how they look at them, how they analyse the data and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure Gareth Bale comes out pretty well in terms of data across the course of his career, but in terms of worth, in terms of sort of nurturing them and being able to sell them on, which of course our owners have done before, it just doesn't look like either an FSG or a Jurgen Klopp type of signing, does it?
And also, I think he's only played like 50% of Real Madrid's matches, whether that's through injury or not being picked. He's had quite a few injuries. I think it's funny, the three teams that you've sort of you've mentioned there, because it feels like a United signing of the past few years, but then it seems to be out in the press that they're going to be changing their tune and they're going to be looking at, you know, young, hungry players. I saw. I can't remember where it was, but I saw basically, was it in the Mirror, where they basically said that they were going to try and copy what Liverpool are doing around the committee and how that works, which is interesting in itself. I think the Spurs have the kind of money to bring back Gareth Bale and take that risk on him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure Pochettino would want to anyway. Yeah, and then Liverpool. That Gareth Bale, maybe 3 years ago, is the kind of signing that we'd all be pining for. And I think now that we've seen the way our own transfer committee works and we've got the confidence in how that works, in that they bring in players sort of 22, 23 years old, and Jurgen Klopp makes them something even better, propels them to sort of a different stature. I don't think this is a goer. Look, if we sign Gareth Bale, there's the part of me that's excited because it's Gareth Bale and it's a big, you know, he's a brilliant player. We saw that last year in the final. I just don't see it happening. I don't see how he fits. And if you want to keep Liverpool's front three happy as well, don't you? And by bringing in Gareth Bale, I think that's sort of saying to them, you know, one of you might be out here, because if you're spending that amount of wages on Gareth Bale, you know, you're going to have to start him, aren't you? I would imagine that they look at someone, you know, they've talked about Timo Werner, they've talked about the lad from Villarreal. I think they look at someone that's sort of, there's a possibility that they can reach the heights of Mane and Salah, but they're not quite there yet, and I think that's the way they'll go in the summer.
Well, once upon a time, because I've obviously always been at the cutting edge of journalism in Britain, I used to work for the Daily Sport, and at this time of the year, you know, it was hard to fill the sports pages. I worked for the sport section, by the way, and anyway, so I came up with this idea, right? Because I needed some money, and I was just freelancing for them at the time. So I came up with this idea. I said, how about every day I send you a column where I rate the transfer rumours, and the column is called Truth or Turd, and every transfer was rated out of 5 turds, you know, like, so they're like little jobbies underneath underneath the potential transfer. So Gareth Bale, Real Madrid to Liverpool, 5 turds out of 5, I think there. Yeah. Absolutely fucking no chance.
Ash has got his head in his hands. He hasn't been in this job long, but this is what it entails, lad.
Anyway,
lots of poo chat.
At the Anfield Wrap, they're doing much more serious journalism than that, to be fair. Because obviously I'm not on half of this, so, you know, the lads are cracking on with real stuff. And they've done some special podcasts. They've had Jamie Carragher in, Alan Kennedy in, and David Fairclough in, all European Cup winners, of course, and all talking about what that's like, about what the side's like now, about how good it is. You may have seen some clips of Jamie talking already on social media. Good stuff as ever, because, you know, Carragher's great, and he opens up and he relaxes when he's in the Anfield Wrap as well. He isn't, you know, well, he hasn't got Gary Neville there, has he? You know what I mean? So, you know, that makes things a little bit better, doesn't it? Let's be honest. So, yeah, a good time to subscribe. Loads of stuff to listen to. Loads of stuff to whet your appetite for the big final in Madrid against Tottenham Hotspur. There's video there as well. There's a special second look on the YouTube where they had a look back at the 2 games against Tottenham we've already played this season. So yeah, loads and loads to get you in the mood. Obviously, it's difficult to get out there. It's difficult to get a ticket. I'm not even going. But if you're watching in town, I'll see you there. If you're going over, good luck. If you haven't got a ticket and you're still looking for one, good luck again. And yeah, subscribe, watch the Anfield Wrap, listen to the Anfield Wrap, read the website, and defo have a go with the new app. Up the Reds, that's been talking about.